In today's video, we're going to explore the top ultra-rare coins. The 5-cent coin from the United States of America dated 1961, commonly known as the Jefferson nickel, is one of the most collected and recognized coins in American numismatic history. It carries the portrait of one of America's most influential founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, and continues to attract attention from collectors due to its age, silver-like shine, and occasional rare minting errors that can make it surprisingly valuable. Let's dive into the fascinating history, design, and collectible value of the 1961 Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the earlier Buffalo nickel design. The change was made to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The designer of this coin was Felix Schlag, a talented sculptor who won a national competition to create the new design. His initials, FS, were later added to the coin starting in 1966, but not on the 1961 issue. The obverse side, or front of the coin, features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. Along the left rim of the coin is the word, "In God We Trust," and on the right side, the word, "Liberty," is separated from the date 1961 by a small 5-pointed star. This simple yet elegant design captures Jefferson's profile in a realistic manner, with fine details in his hair and coat. Turning to the reverse side, we see Jefferson's home, Monticello, a neoclassical mansion located near Charlottesville, Virginia. The building is beautifully detailed with its domed roof and columns. Above the building are the words, "E pluribus unum," which means, out of many, one. Beneath the building, the name, Monticello, is written, followed by 5 cents, and at the very bottom, the inscription, United States of America. The 1961 nickel was struck at two main mints, Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while those from Denver have a small, D mark located to the right of Monticello on the reverse side. Now, let's talk about the coin's composition and physical features. The 1961 Jefferson nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-gray color and durability that resists tarnish. The coin weighs 5 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeters, and features a plain edge. These specifications have remained consistent for decades, making the Jefferson nickel one of the most stable coin series in U.S. history. In 1961, the Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 76.7 million nickels, while the Denver Mint struck over 229 million coins. Because of these high mintages, most 1961 nickels are considered common in circulated condition. However, collectors often look for coins in uncirculated or proof condition, as well as those with unique minting errors, which can greatly increase their value. A 1961 proof version was also struck at the Philadelphia Mint as part of the annual proof set. These coins have a mirror-like finish and were made specifically for collectors rather than for circulation. Proof examples in perfect condition are often highly sought after. Now, let's explore what really interests collectors, the coin's value. In average circulated condition, the 1961 Jefferson nickel is usually worth its face value, 5 cents. However, if you find one in uncirculated condition, mint state, the value can rise significantly. A bright, well-preserved 1961 nickel graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services can be worth between $3 and $10, depending on eye appeal and strike quality. The 1961 D Jefferson nickel is more common but still collectible in top grades. High-quality specimens with full steps on Monticello, known as full-step nickels, are especially rare. These coins show complete, distinct steps on the building, which indicates an exceptionally sharp strike. A 1961 D nickel with full steps can be worth anywhere from $50 to over $200, depending on its grade. There are also a few known minting errors from 1961 that make certain coins far more valuable. Some examples include die cracks, off-center strikes, double die errors, and planchet flaws. Depending on the type and severity of the error, these coins can sell for anywhere from $50 to several $100s at auctions or online marketplaces. For collectors, the 1961 Jefferson nickel represents more than just a 5-cent piece. It's a connection to early 1960s America, a time of optimism, progress, and cultural change. This coin circulated through the hands of Americans during the presidency of John F. Kennedy, the rise of rock and roll, and the early years of the space race. Holding one today feels like touching a small piece of that history. That if you're a beginner collector, the 1961 nickel is a great starting point because it's affordable and easy to find. You can even search through old change jars or coin rolls from banks to find one in good condition. For advanced collectors, searching for rare full-step examples or proof coins adds an exciting challenge to completing a Jefferson nickel collection. So, whether you're collecting for fun, investment, or pure fascination, the 1961 5-cent Jefferson nickel remains a timeless classic of American coinage. Its elegant design, historical value, and potential for hidden rarity make it a small yet meaningful treasure worth holding on to. Next coin. The 1970 United States quarter dollar is one of the most fascinating coins in American history, and today we'll explore its story, from its design and composition to its collectible value and rare errors that make it a true treasure for collectors. Let's dive into the history behind this remarkable coin. The 1970 quarter belongs to the famous Washington Quarter series, a design that was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a bold and detailed portrait of Washington facing left. Above his head, the word "Liberty" is clearly inscribed, while the phrase, "In God We Trust," appears on the left side of his neck. The year of minting, 1970, is engraved at the bottom. Flipping the coin over, the reverse design showcases a majestic bald eagle with wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons. Beneath the eagle are two olive branches symbolizing peace. The inscriptions, "United States of America," and "E Pluribus Unum," sit proudly above the eagle, while the denomination, quarter dollar, appears below. This design was a true representation of American strength and unity, and it remained on the quarter for nearly 70 years, until the state quarter program began in 1999. But the 1970 edition stands out for more reasons than just its beauty. It's also tied to some of the most interesting minting stories in U.S. coin history. The 1970 quarters were struck at two main mints, Philadelphia and Denver. You can identify the mint by checking just beside Washington's ponytail on the coin's obverse. A small letter, D, indicates the Denver Mint, while the absence of a mint mark means it was produced in Philadelphia. In 1970, millions of these quarters were minted, over 136 million at Denver and about 136 million at Philadelphia, so at first glance, the coin might seem common. But don't let that fool you. Among these regular strikes, a few rare varieties and mint errors have made certain 1970 quarters extremely valuable to collectors today. One of the most famous and sought-after varieties is the 1970 S-proof quarter struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter. This was an incredible minting mistake where leftover planchets from a foreign coin were accidentally used to strike new U.S. quarters. Only a few of these are known to exist, and one example reportedly sold for more than $35,000 at auction. Another valuable variation is the 1970 S-proof quarter itself, even without errors. These proof coins were specially made at the San Francisco Mint for collectors. They feature sharp details, mirror-like finishes, and were never meant for circulation. If you find one in perfect condition, it can be worth anywhere from $5 to $25, depending on quality, and much more for rare varieties. As for the regular circulation strikes, their value mostly depends on condition. A 1970 quarter in heavily circulated condition is typically worth its face value, 25 cents. However, uncirculated examples, especially those with strong luster and no wear, can fetch $5 to $15 among collectors. If you're lucky enough to find a coin graded mint state 65 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, the value can reach $30 or more. And if it has an error, such as an off-center strike, double die, or planchet flaw, it could be worth hundreds of dollars or even more, depending on rarity and collector demand. The composition of the 1970 quarter is another key feature to note. Earlier quarters, minted before 1965, were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But by 1970, the U.S. Mint had switched to a copper-nickel clad composition due to the rising price of silver. So, the 1970 quarter consists of a copper core layered with nickel, giving it that shiny, silver-like appearance but with no actual silver content. Collectors today still treasure these coins for their historical significance. The early 1970s represented a time of transition in American coinage. the country had just moved away from silver, and new minting technologies were being tested. This makes the 1970 quarter a symbol of both modernity and tradition. That if you're checking your coin collection or old change jars, make sure to look closely at your 1970 quarters. Examine both sides under good lighting. Look for proof-like finishes, any unusual mint marks, or doubling in the lettering and numbers. Small variations could mean the difference between an ordinary coin and a hidden treasure worth thousands. For those who collect coins as a hobby or investment, the 1970 quarter is a great addition to any Washington quarter set. Its beautiful design, historical context, and potential for rare errors make it a standout piece in U.S. numismatic history. In summary, the 1970 state $quarter coin from the United States is more than just 25 cents. It's a piece of art, a slice of history, and in some rare cases, a small fortune waiting to be discovered. Whether you have a common circulation piece or a rare mint error, each coin tells a story of America's craftsmanship and evolution in coin design. Next coin. In the world of coin collecting, the 1980 10 new pence coin from the United Kingdom holds a special place. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a story from a fascinating time in British history. Featuring Queen Elizabeth II, this coin is a part of the decimal coinage system that transformed the nation's currency. Today, we're diving deep into the history, design, and value of this beautiful 10 new pence coin from 1980. The 10 new pence coin was introduced in 1968, 2 years before the UK officially switched to decimal currency in 1971. It was designed to replace the old 2-shilling coin, and interestingly, both coins were identical in size and value. Even though the design changed, people could still use their older 2-shilling coins as 10 pence after decimalization, making the transition smoother. By 1980, the coin was already well established in circulation, but what makes the 1980 issue stand out is its connection to Queen Elizabeth II's second portrait, sculpted by Arnold Machin. This portrait was used on British coins from 1968 to 1984, and it shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a gift from her grandmother, Queen Mary. It's one of the most recognizable royal portraits in modern coinage history. Now let's take a closer look at the design details. On the obverse side, you'll see Queen Elizabeth II facing right. Around her portrait, the legend reads, Elizabeth II D.G. Reg. F.D. 1980, which stands for, De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, Latin for, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription reflects the Queen's role as both monarch and spiritual leader of the Church of England. On the reverse side, you'll find a beautifully detailed design by Christopher Ironside, a famous British coin designer. It features the lion passant guard ant, a majestic lion walking with its right forepaw raised and its head turned toward the viewer. The lion symbolizes strength, courage, and dignity, qualities often associated with the British monarchy and nation. Below the lion, you'll see the words, New Pence, and the value 10. The coin was minted in copper-nickel, an alloy made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 11.31 grams and has a diameter of 28.5 millimeters, making it quite large compared to modern 10 pence coins. This heavier version circulated until 1992, when the coin size was reduced to make it lighter and more convenient for everyday use. The 1980 10 new pence coin was produced in large numbers by the Royal Mint, so it isn't considered rare in normal circulated condition. However, collectors still value it for its historical significance and its classic Machin portrait. If you have one of these coins, its value depends largely on its condition. In circulated condition, the 1980 10 new pence coin is worth about 10 pence to 30 pence GBP, or roughly 10 cents to 35 cents USD. In uncirculated or mint condition, it can fetch between £1 to £3 sterling, especially if it's bright and free from scratches. Proof versions or coins from official mint sets can sell for £5 or more, depending on collector demand and preservation quality. Collectors particularly seek coins with sharp details and original luster. If your coin still has its original shine and minimal wear, it's definitely worth holding onto. There are also a few interesting facts about this coin. One is that 1980 was among the last years before the Royal Mint decided to change the wording on the coin's reverse. In 1982, the words, New Pence, were replaced with simply, 10 pence. So, the 1980 issue belongs to the New Pence era, making it part of a closed chapter in British coinage history. This small detail makes it special among collectors because it represents the end of an iconic design period that began in 1968. The new pence versions are often seen as more classic, carrying the essence of the decimalisation years when the UK was adjusting to a new monetary system. From a historical perspective, coins like the 1980 10 new pence are more than just money, they're snapshots of their time. They remind us of the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the transition to modern currency, and the artistic legacy of designers like Ironside and Mackin. While it might not be a rare or high-value coin today, it remains a cherished piece of British numismatic history. Many collectors keep it as part of complete decimal coin collections, or as a nostalgic keepsake from the late 20th century.